Introduction. In life, poverty is not only about the absence of money, it is also about the absence of vision, discipline, and self-belief. Many people unknowingly invite poverty into their lives by staying in places that drain their energy, limit their growth, and weaken their mindset. In this talk, inspired by the wisdom of Deepak Chopra, we will uncover the unseen environments and mental spaces that hold people back from abundance. When you understand these 7 places, you will learn how to step away from limitation and move toward the limitless possibilities that life offers. This is not just about wealth, it is about reclaiming your inner power and designing a life that attracts prosperity in every form. 3 key points. Recognize and remove yourself from toxic environments that breed negativity and limit personal growth. Avoid mental spaces where fear and doubt dominate over hope and possibility. Surround yourself with people and communities that inspire action, resilience, and vision. Let me begin by sharing something that many of us have experienced without realizing it. There are places in life that drain our spirit and shrink our dreams. They are not always physical locations. Sometimes they are groups of people or circles we frequent. Sometimes they are the routines and environments we have grown accustomed to. A toxic environment is any place that keeps you thinking small, doubting yourself, and settling for less. It is the soil in which the seeds of your potential cannot grow no matter how much effort you put in. The truth is, the energy of a place shapes your thoughts and actions more than you think. If you are in an environment where people constantly complain or mock ambition, you will slowly start to accept that as normal. Your mind will adapt to the patterns around you, whether they uplift you or drag you down. This is why it is so important to become aware of the subtle ways our surroundings influence us. What you hear every day becomes the music of your life, and if that music is filled with discord, you will not create harmony in your journey. You must ask yourself if your environment is feeding your growth or feeding your stagnation. Many people stay in toxic environments because they fear change. They tell themselves they can handle it or that they will not be affected. Yet, just as a plant cannot flourish in polluted soil, the human spirit cannot reach its full potential in a space poisoned by negativity. Over time, you may not even notice the effect because it happens gradually. One day, you realize your confidence has faded, your dreams have been put on the shelf, and your passion has grown dim. This is not because you lack ability, but because you have been breathing in the wrong kind of atmosphere. Your dreams deserve fresh air and sunlight, not the shadows of constant criticism. It is not just about leaving a place, it is about choosing the right one. When you remove yourself from toxic spaces, you open the door to environments that inspire you. These are places where ideas flow, where people encourage one another, and where success is celebrated instead of envied. In such an environment, your thoughts shift from what is wrong to what is possible. You feel lighter because your mind is no longer burdened by the weight of constant doubt. The moment you step into a positive space, you begin to breathe differently, think differently, and act differently. Some environments may look harmless at first. They might be comfortable or familiar, but comfort can sometimes be the biggest trap. Toxicity is not always loud and obvious, it can be subtle and silent. It can come in the form of people who never celebrate your wins, or who always question your decisions in a way that makes you second-guess yourself. It can be a workplace where gossip is more common than gratitude, or a social circle where dreams are seen as unrealistic. You must be willing to look beyond appearances and trust your inner sense of whether a place is truly good for you. Your environment is like a mirror. It reflects back to you what it values, and if those values do not align with your goals, you will eventually feel out of place. This discomfort is a sign that you are ready to grow beyond where you are. Growth always demands that you step into a new level of energy. That might mean finding a new job, seeking a new community, or spending more time in nature and solitude. Every step away from toxicity is a step toward clarity. Every step toward clarity is a step toward abundance. When you guard your environment, you are guarding your future. There is a saying that you become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Think about that for a moment. If the people around you are always talking about problems instead of solutions, it will be difficult for you to stay solution-oriented. If they see limits everywhere they look, you will start to see limits too. But if you surround yourself with those who see opportunities where others see obstacles, your vision will expand. The conversations you engage in will feed your spirit instead of depleting it. This is why the choice of environment is as important as the choice of direction in life. When you remain in a toxic environment too long, you start to forget what is possible. You settle for routines that feel safe but keep you from your calling. You tell yourself you will make a change someday, but someday rarely comes on its own. The truth is no environment changes until you do. You have to make the conscious choice to step out, even when it feels uncomfortable. The discomfort is the sign that you are breaking free from a pattern that has kept you small. Freedom is not found in staying where you are, but in daring to go where your growth leads you. The journey away from toxic environments is also a journey towards self-respect. When you decide you deserve better surroundings, you are sending a message to yourself and to the universe. That message says, I value my energy, I value my time, and I value my life. This is not about arrogance, it is about recognizing that you are worthy of a place where your dreams are nourished. When you walk into such a place, you carry yourself differently. You speak with more conviction, and you act with more purpose. This shift in energy will attract more opportunities than you ever imagined. Sometimes the most powerful step you can take is simply to walk away. It might be walking away from a group that always drags you into drama. It might be leaving a job where your talents are ignored. It might be saying no to gatherings where the main topic is gossip. Every time you choose peace over poison, you are creating space for abundance to flow in. At first, you may feel alone, but in that space, you will find new people, new ideas, and new levels of courage. Remember, the right environment will never require you to shrink yourself to fit in. You are not meant to be a prisoner of your surroundings. You have the ability to choose where you invest your presence. You can seek out spaces filled with encouragement, creativity, and integrity. You can align with communities where people challenge you to rise higher. These spaces may not be the most comfortable at first, but they will stretch you in the right ways. They will pull out the best in you rather than the worst, and as you continue to grow, you will naturally inspire others to seek better environments for themselves. Your destiny is shaped by the places you allow yourself to stay in. If you choose toxic places, your potential will be starved. If you choose places of inspiration, your potential will be fed. Every choice either leads you closer to poverty of spirit or closer to abundance of life. You do not have to wait for someone to rescue you from a negative environment. You have the power to rescue yourself. All it takes is the courage to say enough and the vision to see that something better is possible. The moment you take that step, you begin to shift from limitation to limitless possibility. And so the first and most vital step in escaping the grip of poverty is to rise above the places that drain you and walk toward the places that sustain you. Fear and doubt are two of the most powerful forces that can quietly hold you back from the life you deserve. They often begin as small thoughts whispering in the back of your mind. They tell you that you are not ready, that you are not good enough, or that success is for other people. At first, you might believe you can ignore them, but if you keep returning to mental spaces where fear and doubt are the main voices you hear, they will grow stronger. Your dreams will start to feel far away, and your belief in yourself will slowly fade until it feels like you are trapped. These mental spaces can be created by past failures that you replay over and over. They can be shaped by the voices of others who planted seeds of insecurity in you. They can be built from the comparisons you make when you look at people who seem to have it all figured out. When you live in these spaces, you begin to expect disappointment before you even try. The mind becomes a cage, and the bars are made from your own thoughts. Breaking free begins with realizing that fear and doubt are not facts, they are only feelings. Fear and doubt feed off attention. The more you focus on them, the more real they seem. You can spend hours imagining all the ways things might go wrong, and by the end you will feel too tired to take any action. This is how fear steals opportunities before you even start. The irony is that most of the things we fear never actually happen. Yet by living in the mental space of fear, you end up experiencing the pain of failure without even having the chance to fail or succeed. You must choose to take your attention away from the thoughts that weaken you and put it on the thoughts that strengthen you. It is not about pretending fear does not exist. Fear can sometimes be a sign that you are stepping into something important. The difference is whether you let it guide you or block you. The same is true for doubt. Doubt can make you question and improve your plan, but it can also stop you from taking any step at all. The key is to listen to fear and doubt only long enough to learn from them, and then move forward anyway. Your mind will try to convince you that safety lies in staying still, but true safety lies in growth. Growth cannot happen in the same mental space where fear and doubt reign. We often inherit mental patterns of fear and doubt from the people around us. If you grew up hearing more warnings than encouragement, you may have learned to expect problems instead of possibilities. This is why it is so important to consciously create a new inner dialogue. You can speak to yourself in the voice you always needed to hear. You can tell yourself that you are capable, that you are ready, and that the unknown is not something to fear, but something to explore. This shift will not happen overnight, but every time you replace a fearful thought with a hopeful one, you weaken the hold of doubt. Your mental space is like a garden. Fear and doubt are weeds that will grow if left unattended. Hope and confidence are flowers that must be planted and nurtured. You have to be intentional about what you allow to grow in your mind. Reading uplifting books, listening to empowering voices, and focusing on your strengths are ways to water the right seeds. Every moment you spend strengthening your mind is a moment you take away from fear. Over time, your mental space will become a place that supports your growth instead of sabotaging it. Fear loves silence and secrecy. The more you keep it inside, the more it feels like it has control over you. Speaking about your fears with trusted people can take away their power. When you say them out loud, you often realize they are smaller than they seemed in your head. Doubt also shrinks when you take action. Even a small step can prove to your mind that you are more capable than you thought. Action is the bridge that takes you from fear to confidence. Every step forward is a message to yourself that you are in control of your own path. The mental space you choose determines the energy you bring into every part of your life. If you wake up each day expecting something to go wrong, your brain will search for proof of that expectation. But if you begin the day looking for things to be grateful for, your mind will find those instead. Gratitude is one of the strongest ways to shift your mental space away from fear and toward abundance. Fear looks for problems, but gratitude looks for blessings. Where your focus goes, your energy flows, and where your energy flows, your life follows. One of the biggest lies fear tells you is that you must have everything figured out before you start. This creates a mental trap where you keep preparing forever without ever taking action. The truth is clarity often comes after you take the first step, not before. Doubt will always say wait until you are ready, but you are more ready than you realize. By taking action, you give yourself proof that you can adapt to challenges as they come. Fear and doubt lose their grip when you replace hesitation with motion. Some mental spaces are created not only by your own thoughts, but by the input you consume. If you are constantly surrounded by negative news, gossip, or criticism, it will shape your inner world. You must guard what you allow into your mind just as carefully as you guard what you allow into your home. Choose to consume information and conversations that inspire and empower you. This is not about ignoring reality, but about choosing a reality that helps you grow. The mind becomes what it repeatedly sees and hears, so choose wisely. It is also important to remember that fear and doubt often disguise themselves as logic. They will present reasons that sound sensible, but are actually designed to keep you from risk. You will hear thoughts like it is not the right time, or you might fail, or people will not understand. These may sound reasonable, but they are rooted in the desire to avoid discomfort. The reality is there is no perfect time, and every path to success involves some form of risk. Choosing to move forward despite uncertainty is how you break free from the mental space of fear. The mental space you live in today is not permanent. You can redesign it just like you can redecorate a room. It starts with noticing the thoughts you allow and deciding which ones you will no longer entertain. It continues with replacing them with beliefs that build you instead of break you. Over time, these new beliefs will become your default, and you will look back wondering why you ever let fear lead the way. You will see that the only thing fear ever really had was the power you gave it, and you will know that your mind is now a place where abundance is welcome. Fear and doubt are not your enemies unless you make them your home. They can visit, but they should never live in you. When you recognize them as passing guests instead of permanent residents, you take back control. You have the ability to choose thoughts that align with your goals instead of your fears. This choice will open doors you never imagined possible. It will connect you with people who share your vision and push you toward your highest potential, and it will prove to you that your mind can be your greatest ally. And so the moment you step out of the mental space where fear and doubt dominate is the moment you begin living in the space where hope and possibility guide your every step. The people you surround yourself with are like the climate in which your life grows. They can be like warm sunshine that nourishes your spirit, or like cold winds that make you shrink back from your potential. Every relationship carries an energy that either pushes you forward or pulls you down. If you want to live a life of abundance, you must be intentional about the company you keep. Your environment is not just about places, it is also about people. Who you allow into your inner circle can either accelerate your journey or slow it to a crawl. When you spend time with those who inspire action, resilience, and vision, something inside you wakes up. You feel a sense of possibility that makes challenges seem smaller and dreams seem closer. These people see beyond your current reality and remind you that your future is not limited by where you are now. They believe in your potential even when you doubt yourself. Being in their presence can ignite ideas and confidence that you did not even know you had. This is the power of a supportive and visionary community. Not all relationships are created equal. Some people will encourage you to take bold steps, while others will quietly discourage you with subtle comments or constant skepticism. The danger is that the negative voices can sometimes sound like they are protecting you, when in reality they are keeping you from growth. If you spend too much time around those who see obstacles in every opportunity, you will eventually start to see the world through their lens. That is why it is essential to identify who lifts you and who limits you. The more time you spend with uplifting people, the more natural it becomes to think bigger. There are people who will challenge you not out of doubt, but out of love for your growth. They will ask you hard questions to help you think deeper and act smarter. This kind of challenge is a gift because it strengthens your vision instead of shrinking it. The right people will celebrate your wins and also hold you accountable when you are not giving your best. They see your greatness even when it is hidden behind fear or distraction. Surrounding yourself with people like this is one of the fastest ways to grow into the person you were meant to be. Your closest relationships set the tone for your life. If your circle is filled with people who constantly talk about problems without seeking solutions, your mindset will eventually match theirs. But if your circle talks about ideas, possibilities, and actions, your mind will naturally focus on those things. Energy is contagious, and it spreads faster than we realize. That is why you must choose to be around those whose energy pushes you forward. The conversations you have today will shape the decisions you make tomorrow. Those decisions will shape your future. It is not always easy to change your circle. You may feel loyal to people who have been in your life for a long time, even if they are not supportive of your growth. But loyalty should not mean sacrificing your dreams. You can still care for people while creating distance if their energy is holding you back. This is about protecting the space where your vision grows. When you create room for new relationships that inspire you, those relationships can become the fuel for your success. The shift will feel uncomfortable at first, but it is worth it. There will always be people who do not understand your vision because it is not theirs to understand. They may project their fears onto you or dismiss your dreams as unrealistic. You cannot let their limited perspective become your reality. The path to abundance requires the courage to surround yourself with people who can see beyond the limits of the present moment. These people will remind you that greatness is possible even when it feels distant. They will help you see that your dream is not only valid but necessary. Inspiring people do more than talk about vision, they live it. They show you through their actions that success is not about luck, but about consistency and courage. Being around such individuals will teach you habits that lead to success without them even needing to lecture you. You will see how they face challenges and how they turn setbacks into lessons. You will learn that abundance is a way of thinking before it becomes a way of living. This is why the right company is not just supportive, it is transformational. Sometimes the most powerful shift you can make is to find a mentor or role model who is already living the life you aspire to. Their presence can help you believe in possibilities you have never experienced before. They can guide you through challenges that might have stopped you if you were walking the path alone. Mentors do not just give you advice, they give you perspective. They help you see the bigger picture when you are stuck in the details. One conversation with the right person can change the direction of your life. The people who inspire you do not have to be perfect. In fact, seeing their flaws and struggles can be even more motivating because it reminds you that success is built by real people who face real obstacles. The difference is that they refuse to let those obstacles define them. They keep going even when it is hard, and they encourage you to do the same. This shared resilience creates a bond that fuels both of you. Together, you push each other to rise higher than you could have alone. Being part of a community that shares your values and vision is like having a constant source of fuel for your spirit. You do not have to explain why you want to grow because everyone around you is moving in the same direction. When you stumble, there are hands to help you up. When you succeed, there are voices cheering for you without envy. This kind of community does not just support your goals, it makes them feel more achievable. It turns the path to abundance into a shared journey instead of a lonely climb. Your inner circle will influence how far you go more than almost anything else. If you surround yourself with people who give up easily, you will be tempted to do the same. If you surround yourself with those who persevere through challenges, you will learn to persevere too. You will absorb their habits, their mindset, and their level of commitment. Over time, your life will reflect the standards of the people you keep close. This is why building the right circle is an act of self-respect as much as it is a strategy for success. There may be seasons in life when you need to spend more time alone than with others. This is not isolation, it is preparation. Sometimes you must step back from draining relationships before you can step into nourishing ones. This space allows you to rediscover your own vision without interference. When you return to building connections, you will be more intentional about who you let close. You will recognize the difference between those who genuinely want to see you rise and those who only want you to stay the same. As you grow, you may find that your circle changes naturally. Some people will drift away because they are not aligned with your new direction. Others will be drawn to you because your growth inspires them. This is a natural part of life, and it should be embraced rather than resisted. Trying to hold on to relationships that no longer fit will only slow you down. Instead, focus on nurturing the connections that bring out your best self. These are the relationships that will walk with you into abundance. The quality of your relationships determines the quality of your life. Every conversation, every shared experience, and every influence either builds your vision or blurs it. By surrounding yourself with people who inspire action, resilience, and vision, you are creating an environment where abundance can thrive. You are telling yourself and the world that you are committed to growth, and in doing so, you open the door for greater opportunities than you could create alone. And so, the moment you choose to walk alongside people who see your potential and believe in your vision, is the moment you begin moving faster toward the life of abundance that is waiting for you. Abundance is not an accident. It is the result of conscious choices about where you go, what you think, and who you allow to walk beside you. When you remove yourself from places that drain your energy, step out of mental spaces ruled by fear and doubt, and surround yourself with people who ignite your vision, you create the perfect conditions for growth. This is not just about wealth in material terms, it is about living a life filled with purpose, confidence, and joy. Every step you take away from limitation is a step toward the life you are meant to live. Your future is built in the choices you make today and the courage you show in making them. Now is the time to rise and claim the abundance that is already waiting for you.